The mule is described as being perhaps a man, but could be many men. And it's a good comment on political side of things, but also it serves as an in to Harry Seldon's character.
But it's also you also have to recognize too, and I don't know if you've ever read the Foundation trilogy, both the
Yes.
Mule and Harry Seldon, although my Harry Seldon is spelled differently, and a few other characters are plucked straight from the Asimov's Foundation trilogy. They're put into the real 20th century and sort of turned sideways. Harry Seldon is the cyber, or not the cyber, the psychohistorian of the Foundation trilogy. Here he's just a second-rate hood who is the nominal head, but doesn't know. So if you don't, it works. My Foundation works if you have no idea who Asimov is or that it's what it's playing off of. But if you do, it's again twisting something, a major work. Probably most people would say, at least for American science fiction, it's one of the, if not the foundational thing of sci-fi, the Foundation trilogy.
The narrative, though, is far more predictable. You know that you will eventually meet the mule and that you'll get an into his character, whereas the mule is never really revealed throughout the whole of a Norwegian in the family. Yeah. Like you said, there's many possibilities. But the thing about that is, with comparisons to the Isaac Asimov creations, is it plays off of that, but it also, I mean, the mule and goals go way down in this story. He's trying to conquer galaxies in Isaac Asimov's work, and here he's just trying to conquer a routine racket.
Well, I mean, he's not trying to. I mean, he's trying to knock out the mafia nationwide. So this is a big deal. I mean, and we find out in this book that at least in this universe of mine, that the Foundation are the people that killed John F. Kennedy. But the nice twist that I put on it is that they killed John F. Kennedy not because they had anything against him, no conspiracy against him. They do it as a press distraction, so that the press is following them, while they then launch an attack on mafia ports on the East Coast. So we find out later that several dozen key mob figures from families up and down the East Coast have been killed off in this war between the Foundation, which is presumably, what we find out, is a more egalitarian bunch of crooks that hire people on a mercenary basis rather than a familial basis. So it's a counterpart evil to the mafia. The mafia, if you look at it, would be, say, more like tribalism, whereas this is more professionals. The Foundation is, in a sense, has more in common with Nazism or socialism. These people are cultists who are either they're mercenaries or true believers, although we find out that the true believers think it's a load of shit and they're basically out for money. But the interesting thing is that the JFK assassination is an afterthought. It's just a means to an end that the mule has, although we don't know who the mule really is. The mule is posited as any one of a half a dozen small hoods, or it could be some major mob figures from Chicago. It could be Lou Wasserman, the super agent, or Howard Hughes, and all of them are plausible possibilities. We have one scene where we see the mule putatively, is where I think it's Jack Ruby is kidnapped when he's being transferred between prisons, and he meets the mule, who sends him, I guess, to kill Kennedy or whatnot, or maybe it's after the Kennedy thing, and we see the display of strength that this mule has, which is similar to the Foundation, where the mule is supposedly has superhuman strength too. But other than that, we don't really find out anything about it. He has this cult-like personality. He's written this book called The Brown Book that we never hear from. Because one of the things I didn't want to, I had done in an earlier book called The Trials of Horacio Guzman, I did a sci-fi book that was being read by the main character, and it's in a different style than the main narrative. I didn't want to have that because it's insanity. I didn't want to waste time writing something insane. So when the mule has his minions reading these anarchist tracts or other political gobbledygook, it shows the level of the mind that must be behind this Brown Book.